Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you some grooming tips on this stray cat here. Her name is Gracie. And I've got some different brushes to show you. The little green one is just a brush that's intended for people. It's like a little travel brush, but as you can see it has little balls on the end, so it's not going to hurt her to use it, but it's not really meant for cats or for animals, so it's not going to do a very good job. But the cats like the feel of the brush, so I let them get brushed with it. I don't really care. It's meant for them only. I don't use it on people. But it doesn't actually do any good. It's just there, if the cats want to have the feeling of being brushed but not actually accomplish very much, it's an okay brush to use. The other two here, this blue one is kind of a gimmicky brush. It has a slicker brush on one side and then the silicone brush on the other. The silicone brush is, they're safe because they're soft. They're not going to scratch the cat or hurt the cat. But not all cats like it. Some cats like the feeling of it, others don't so much. It's okay for getting an undercoat. This one, the slicker brush side, is much better for actually grooming the cat. It can scratch the cat though, so you have to be gentle with it and be very careful what you're doing. I typically don't use it. You don't want to use it in like a way where you're raking the cat. You don't want to think of it as like a raking motion. It's more like a gentle, like a pat and then like a lift, which is what I'm doing here, like all around the areas where it's more delicate, like her stomach, under the legs, around the face and things like that. You just want to gently kind of like pat and then lift. This is a comb. This is probably the most useful thing for a long hair cat. It has a narrow tooth and a wide tooth end. You can start with the wide tooth and then go to narrow tooth if you want. With her, I don't really need to. She doesn't have a very dense coat. It's just long and wispy. So I'm just letting her walk around as I groom her. I want this to be a positive experience. She's never been fully groomed before. I've brushed her out a couple times, but nothing like this. Around the ears, you can see what I'm doing. I'm putting my thumb over her ear. And I'm not really holding or pulling or anything. I just let my thumb kind of hold her ear down, and then I brush behind it. And then down here all around her neck, if you have a cat with a collar on, take the collar off and comb this area out. If they have long hair, guaranteed there's going to be some tangles there. So I do that, and I'm getting her attention here. I want her to come back in the frame. There we go. And we could brush out the rest of her long fur. So anytime she's not sure what's going on or she feels uncomfortable, she'll move, and here she sits down. And each time she does that, I just let her, and then I wait for her to relax again, and then I continue combing. And I just keep going until she's fully combed out, and she enjoyed the entire thing. She didn't fight me, she didn't have any issues with it, and that's what you want. You want the grooming to always be positive, especially in the beginning. The back here, in the little like pantaloon area, you want to make sure you comb that out. That's another place where they can tangle. Anywhere where the fur is thicker or longer, you want to comb out. Carefully getting her stomach, and under the arms here, under the arms and under the legs, they can get tangles. And that's actually it'll make it very painful for them to walk. And that might be why, if you have a long-haired cat, if it gets upset when you pick it up, it might be because there's tangled hair in the armpit area and it's pulling when you pick them up. So just keep that in mind. And here I'm brushing out the back of her legs again. You can see all the fur that's stuck in there. And it's really easy to clean out. You just pull it out with your fingers. Also, whenever I'm done using any of these tools, I just spray them down with some rubbing alcohol. And that'll sanitize them in between uses. And then here I'm going under her other arm. You see how she rolled over to her other side? And that's kind of how I groom a cat. I let them kind of guide it. When they're on one side, I'll groom that side. Then when they roll over, I'll groom the other side. I don't really force them because you don't want to fight the cat. You don't want to make this a miserable experience for them. And as you can see so far, she seems to be enjoying it, so it's going pretty good. And I'm trying to get underneath her tail because she has a lot of, long hair there and a loose fur under there. And that's where I'm getting most of this loose fur out of, is around the underside of her tail and the backs of her legs. And each time you do this, a cat will learn that, oh, this is a positive thing and I like this, and they won't fight you as much. And I also try to get them used to new things each time, so you'll see me later pick her up by the paws, like lifting her and getting her used to that movement. And over time, if she becomes used to it, it'll be easier and easier to groom her, using those methods. So I'm just cleaning out the hair again. And there's another cleaning method for cleaning the brushes I'll show you in a minute as well. So I'm just going over her with the slicker. Now that I've got the tangles out with the comb, I'm just slicking down the fur, trying to find any more loose hair. This is another really good way of getting the undercoat out. And you can see by the way I'm, releasing my grip, I'm not pulling her tail when I do that. I'm just holding it in place, and then as I brush, I release it so she doesn't feel like somebody's pulling or holding her tail. It's just there to kind of guide where the tail is positioned so that I can comb it. And now you can see she's really just enjoying this, and she's letting me do more and more each time because she's having a good time. She likes getting brushed. Okay, so then to clean the brush, you just use the comb. This only works with slicker brushes, and you just want to comb out the bristles, and you can see how I'm getting little wispy bits of fur out. It's so much easier than trying to pick the fur out with your fingers, and now you can just pull it right off the comb. So all that fur that was in the comb, I just combed it out. I mean, the fur that was in the brush, I combed it out. So much easier. What I need to do is I need to brush her chest area and down the front, between her two front feet. So I'm going to try to coax her to let me do that, and we'll see. It takes a couple of tries before I really get it, and when she does something that indicates that she doesn't want me to brush her there, I go somewhere else and brush her somewhere else, get her relaxed again, and then try again. And like I said, she's a stray. A neighbor found her when she was pregnant, and I picked her up, and I'm just fostering her. And I'm also distracting her here with my other hand. When I do places, if I'm going to comb a place where she's not sure about, I'll distract her with my other hand, and then she'll see that what I'm brushing is fine, and she lets me do it and doesn't care. Okay, so here I'm going to try lifting her paws. I'm not pulling or holding, I'm just putting my hands under her front arms and lifting gently. And after a couple of, days of attempting this, probably she'll let me do it, but right now she doesn't like that motion, so she moves out of it. But you can see she's not upset, she's not running away, she's not being hurt, she's just not sure about the motion. But I wanted to get that area under their brush, so instead I just lifted one arm and reached under, and that seemed to work well enough. I was able to brush that area out. And she's just doing a really good job sitting here and letting me brush her. So brushing does several things. It gets all the loose hairs out so that they don't get tangled and matted. It helps keep their fur clean. If there's anything dangerous stuck in their fur, you'll get it out that way. And you want to prevent mats. I mean, the mats will cause moisture to get stuck against their skin and get them infections. Tangles can cause debris and things to stay lodged in their fur against their skin, and that can cause rashes and other problems. So you definitely want to keep your cat groomed if possible. So she jumped down, she indicated she was done with the groom, and by then I was long done anyway, so it's totally fine. And this is a little visitor coming to see what we were up to. I like to let them sniff the tools before I use them so that they know what's going on. That can also be helpful. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully it'll help you with grooming your cats. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I'm going to try to do better with answering comments and things. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.